Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the Samoan Submission Machine. Please welcome to the show, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning, Rob. It's been a long time, but we get a prediction episode.
Correct me if I'm... Oh, well, we've had one. It's been one since Survivor Series.
Yeah, I mean, it was Survivor Series and a long break, then Royal Rumble, and we've had a nice one. By WWE's typical standards, we've had a long, nice little build for the Elimination Chamber. We've had a lot of time to build. I should say we've had a lot of time to build to the Elimination Chamber. We have not had a good build.
I will say this. That is, you are brushing on something I did want to start this episode with, in that it is nice that even though the build has been piss poor at best, because it's been so long. I mean, so I even went to a buddy's house for the Royal Rumble, so I haven't watched wrestling on a Sunday on my couch live since, like, I want to say December's pay-per-view. So, like,
it makes it special. It makes it a little more special.
Correct. So, yeah, that's the one optimistic thing I'm going to say about Sunday, in that I don't have very high hopes for the show or the writing. Even really, I don't know about the execution. I don't know there's going to be some great matches on Sunday either, but I am excited that it's time to watch a pay-per-view, because there's only going to be 12 of them this year.
I don't see any, like, surprise sleeper match of the nights or anything. I think match of the night will end up being the men's chamber, just because it's an elimination chamber and they're going to do some cool stuff. And literally almost all of their good guys are in that match.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only 5 to choose from. So, but I will also say this. What I am literally most excited for is the Ronda Rousey segment.
That's the one that's the most unpredictable. And that's not even something we can really cover on a prediction episode as far as predictions go.
Sure,
like, what do we predict?
I have a prediction.
What's your prediction?
I think that she's going to come out to do her contract signing. I assume Stephanie McMahon will be in the ring presenting her as she is what's her title? She's not the general manager. That's Kurt Angle.
She's commissioner? No, I don't know.
Whatever she is. So she's in charge. She's the boss of Raw. Yeah, she's the McMahon of Raw. And I think that it will get contentious, and it will turn into some sort of, I don't know how physical it will become, but it will turn into a feud with Stephanie. And somewhere down the line, maybe Sunday, maybe not, probably it will develop, I think, but it's going to lead to Ronda and male partner versus Stephanie and Triple H.
Well, here's what my prediction is, and I finally settled on the male partner, and I know how they're going to get Triple H involved with this. So it's going to be, I'm with you, it's going to get contentious. It's going to be Ronda and Stephanie, and probably Raw's general manager.
You know, you're absolutely right.
Kurt Angle's going to be there. I bet Kurt and Stephanie become contentious and enter Triple H, and now you've got Kurt and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie, which sounds like a WrestleMania match to me.
So does Triple H enter on Sunday, or does Triple H enter on a Monday down the line?
Monday down the line.
Okay. Either way makes sense. I hope they do
it
Sunday.
Out, baby. Spread it out. I hope they do too, but you can also spread it out, and I'd be okay with it.
Boy, spreading it out has been the theme of the writing this year.
What I don't want is Ronda Rousey coming out in Roddy Piper's oversized jacket, looking like a fool, smiling the whole time, sign the paper, and then go back with nothing happening. Like, if she just signs the thing and there's applause, cut to a commercial, I'm gonna die.
I can't imagine they'll bumble this.
I feel like they kind of bumbled her entrance at the Rumble a little bit, because she did look lost, didn't she? You had said that.
Okay, yeah, she looked lost, but I wouldn't call that a bumble or a fumble. What I would, that was specifically to get people talking the next day, and they were successful in that.
Yes, they were.
I would not call that a fumble on the Royal Rumble personally. I'm going to say, do you want to do this bet too? Because I think they won't fumble Ronda on Sunday.
Okay, so that's an arbitrary thing to judge. Let's do this. If we're going to use it as a tiebreaker, do you think Triple H will show up on Sunday?
Oh, well, Triple H isn't. I just think that. Okay, here's the question: is it just going to be a dull? She signs it, nothing really happens, and she walks back? Because you don't need Triple H for it to not be a fumble. You can still fumble with Triple H there, or you can still hit a home run without Triple H there. So I think the question is: will it be a good segment, or will it be her literally just signing the contract and walking back?
I hope it's a good segment. I have to believe in my heart that it's going to be a good segment, but it wouldn't surprise me if they blow it.
I'm feeling good. It's going to be, they've got stuff planned for this.
Okay.
So I'm feeling good about that. And then there's 5 matches to talk about. Oh, you know what? I wanted to bring up one other thing. I like something that Mike brought up on the last post show. He kind of had this idea that I've been batting around in my head too. Like maybe there's a reason that nothing has happened on Raw for the past month. And maybe that reason is there's some big things being planned for the month leading up to WrestleMania. I don't think it gives it much of an excuse, but I will say maybe they'll put the pedal to the metal here following this pay-per-view.
If you're going to have Raws with the WrestleMania sign up in the rafters, if you're going to call this the road to WrestleMania, then you need to treat it like the road to freaking WrestleMania.
Listen, I agree with you 100%.
And that's just how I feel about it. The only other thing I wanted to ask about the Ronda Rousey thing is, do you think that's a show starter, a middle, or an end? It's not an end.
Semi-main. It will be like between the second to last and main event, I think.
Also, the tiebreaker, which Elimination Chamber is going to be first?
Boy, it's a shame we have to even talk about this, but I'm going to also go with my gut on this one and say who's going to be first? The women.
Okay, so let that be the tiebreaker because my gut says the women will be the main event.
Whoa, okay. I'll accept that as a tiebreaker.
I think
let's throw the Ronda Rousey one will just be for fun.
Sure, but I think the main event will be the women's Elimination Chamber. I think that's stupid.
Really?
I do. It's for a championship, and the women's Rumble was last. I mean, dude, the women's Hell in the Cell, when they did that, it was last. Like, every time they do something like this, they make it the main event. So I don't want it. I don't agree with it, but I think it's last.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I'll take you up on that, Valeri, and I take that up with little confidence, bro. Little confidence.
Hashtag bro, hashtag tiebreaker. And I think we're going to need one because I feel like we're going to agree on a lot of these.
My favorite hashtag this week has been hashtag mid-ultimate feast. That was my, listen, Tuesday's episode where we were talking about fish and we were talking about Nice Face and we were sharing some radio stories. That was my favorite episode this week. I love that. And when you said he was mid-ultimate feast, I lost my crap, man. I thought that was so funny. Kudos to you.
Because the poor sack of crap is at an anniversary dinner with his wife, and here's this new guy, Rob, on at nights trying to get fired, which he never got fired. He just blew the company up for 4 hours and then quit.
Yeah, so that, we should put the cherry on this story because Jerry's right. Despite an entire show slapping the company in the face with my wiener, they didn't fire me. And I had to quit at the end of the night. So what happened was I drove to my program director's apartment, who I was 100% positive was going to be at his apartment because he was on house arrest, which is not a joke. You know that.
It's not a joke. He was on house arrest for 3 years. When we did a morning show, I had to pick him up every day.
I also had to pick him up when I did nights because so you picked him up after me. I was the first guy who picked him up. I used to have to get his dog food and stuff like that. And yeah, he wasn't a guy I didn't like, but I didn't like the situation I was in. It was his first day as program director. Still couldn't believe I hadn't been fired. Literally trying to. So I said, listen, I went to his house. I said, listen, man, I just, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I gotta quit. And that's what happened.
That's what happened. And that wrapped that up. But that was a good episode. If you missed it Tuesday, check that out.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to predictions here, Valeri.
Sure.
Let's start with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I'm doing all these from the top. I don't have anything open in front of me. So That feels
okay,
like
that's the first one I have written down. So
you want to get things started? You want me to? Valeri's choice.
I'll get it started. But when the Hardys came last year, they were a huge WrestleMania moment, and everyone was talking about broken Matt Hardy. I went and I did something I don't normally do, and I watched a bunch of TNA stuff, and I watched all of the broken Matt Hardy stuff, and some of it was entertaining. I definitely appreciated the creativity that he and Jeff put into the Brother Nero stuff. It wasn't really my cup of tea as far as what I want in wrestling, but it was really well done, and it was engaging and interesting, and the character was fun and unpredictable. It has been anything but in the WWE's version of Woken Matt Hardy. They've relegated him and Bray Wyatt, who I think had the potential to have an incredibly interesting feud. All they do is interrupt each other's promos and laugh maniacally at each other. And there's no heat. It's not interesting. Unfortunately for Matt Hardy, I feel like this is what the WWE considers giving him a good shot, and it's not going to work out for him. Although, because he lost in 5 freaking minutes at Raw 25, I think he's going to get the win back. I think they're going to put a bow on it and move on at some point soon. I don't think they're going to drag it out to WrestleMania. I say Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy, beats Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of doing the homework like you did and watching stuff from TNA, I agree with you completely. I think the Woken character has potential out the wazoo, but it hasn't hit with me yet. It's possible maybe, I was actually talking to my buddy John about this, and he was saying a potential problem with this might be the fact that Bray Wyatt does these erratic promos that we're supposed to take very seriously. And then Matt Hardy does a similar style of promo, and we're supposed to take it not seriously. And that's kind of where maybe the misfire is here with this, is that their styles, while on the surface they may seem like they would gel really well, actually kind of aren't. So I'm hopeful that maybe down the line, I'm going to appreciate what Matt's doing, but that hasn't happened yet. Nevertheless, it's Bray Wyatt on a pay-per-view. He's the eater of pinfalls. He's not going to win. No,
they don't have any issues pinning a loss on that guy.
It's the exact opposite of Hogan must pose. It's, Bray must
Wyatt
lose.
Must lose.
Yeah, exactly. So
so you're saying Matt Hardy?
I am correct.
Okay, there it is. Want to move on to the next and only other singles match on the card?
Yes.
Asuka versus Nia Jax. If Nia Jax wins, she is given the opportunity to have Asuka's championship match at WrestleMania be triple threat, even though we don't know who Asuka's fighting yet.
Correct. And I had a tough time with this one a little bit. I can't imagine this close to WrestleMania, though, they break Asuka's streak. Is kind of where my gut is. Although, I don't know where Asuka could definitely pull out a surprise and, challenge Charlotte for the title or whoever the women's champion is for SmackDown. Bliss also feels like a natural choice, but I feel like if there's any match we've been building towards for WrestleMania, it feels like it's Bliss and Jax, honestly. Long story short, Larry, I'm gonna take Asuka in this one.
I'm going to employ the KISS strategy. It's keep it simple, stupid, and it's because this is as simple as it gets. Asuka will not lose before WrestleMania, and she probably won't even lose at WrestleMania. Asuka is going to win. Asuka wins.
Okay. What's next?
The Bar defending their tag championships against Titus Worldwide, who has 2, possibly 3 victories over them. I lose track. Mm-hmm. So Titus Worldwide gets to defend the championships, or gets to go for the championships against The Bar. I'll take this one.
Sure.
I went back and forth. This ended up being the hardest one for me to pick.
Same.
Of all of them. And I could give a ton of reasons why both teams will win or should win. And I really, for someone that wasn't sure about the whole Cesaro and Sheamus becoming a tag team thing, they've really impressed me as a tag team. And they've come a very long way. And I like them as a tag team quite a bit. And so it makes sense for me in my head that they would have the belts and defend them against maybe the Club or maybe the Revival in at WrestleMania. But I hear Bruce Pritchard, excuse me, in the back of my head. And he's a man that was behind the scenes for so long. And I know they still think this way. They'd sometimes say, why didn't they have a championship? Why didn't he have a belt? Why didn't they get this? Why didn't they get that? He'd say, didn't need it. Didn't need it. Didn't put it on him. If anybody needs it, it's Titus Worldwide. I think Titus Worldwide would benefit the most from having championship straps around their waist. And it would push them from lower mid-card to upper mid-card. And so I'm going to say Titus Worldwide wins in a big shockaroo.
I thought for sure we would disagree on this one.
Oh, you're taking them too. Same reason? Is it the same reason? Because they need it.
Not exactly, no. My reason is a little bit different than yours.
But I can write it down, Titus Worldwide?
It is. I do think Titus Worldwide. One of those reasons is that there have been a lot of things happening with them on the low over the past few months. For example, well, this one not so much on the low, but they've added Dana Brooke to the organization.
And I think she's been a good addition for them.
I agree completely. Not that she adds a whole lot, but she's working. I think this is better for her than wrestling, personally. And I feel like they've gone from never being seen on Raw to being very visible on Raw since they've added Dana. And then post Royal Rumble, it's gone from now we're visible to, whoa, now we're actually picking up victories. And I'm not positive they've had a loss since Royal Rumble, to be honest with you. They may have, but they've had, I think, 2 or 3 really high-profile wins since the Royal Rumble. They've beaten the Club. They've beaten some good teams. And then last but not least, the Apollo name change, which people are attributing to the Florida shooter, which may have been the spark for when, but I had been hearing for a few weeks they're planning on dropping the Cruise anyway. So I don't think you change somebody's name, even if it's low key like that, without any plans for them. So I'm going to not only say they will win the titles on Sunday, I will also go as far as to say I believe they will probably lose them to a babyface team at WrestleMania. And those are my whys to get a big babyface pop at Mania for a different team winning. Got it. But at the end of the day, we both go with Titus Worldwide. I thought this would be the one where we would disagree, but I should have known better. I think it's probably going to be the next one. All right, what's next? Let's go. We'll go in the order that we'll go in, but not the WWE. We'll go with the Women's Elimination Chamber. And that is Alexa Bliss defending her championship against Bayley, Sasha Banks, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, and that other one. What's the other one's name? Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville. I always forget Sonya Deville. I think I've got them down. She's the most what? The most forgettable, I think, of the new additions on both shows. Oh boy, no! I would go with the one of the two that's not Ruby Riott on SmackDown. So either Sarah Logan or Liv Morgan. I think are both more forgettable than Sonya Deville for me personally. I think Sonya Deville's gimmick has just been rendered irrelevant because she's like the MMA chick, right? Well, who's signing a contract at the Elimination Chamber? A real honest-to-God MMA chick. Yeah. Like, I just think Sonya Deville is
she's going to be the first one out the door.
Steve sent a question we can get to before this if you want to. Steve
Sure.
says, do you think any chance of Ronda Rousey becomes 7th woman in the Elimination Chamber and winning title to face Asuka at Mania? Gonna go with the no on that one. I think her first match is going to be highly promoted.
Yeah, I don't, and that's why. I think that they're going to say Ronda Rousey's first match, WrestleMania 34.
Yeah, that's the way I think too. I don't
Although,
know.
do you remember when? It's a little different, but remember right before SummerSlam, they had Finn Balor's on Raw for the first time ever, and they debuted the Demon 6 days before they should have. What are you doing?
Yeah, I feel like that's a little different than this.
Plus, but it was still stupid.
That was still very stupid. You're absolutely right.
So stupid.
All right. So another reason why I think that the tag team title is going to change hands on Sunday is also because I don't see any other title changing hands, despite the fact that only one title is on the line. There might be a cruiserweight match added to the pre-show,
sure.
But either way, actually, what's their status? Aren't they in a tournament?
They're in a tournament. They won't have a champion until WrestleMania.
All right.
Listen, 205 Live is just dead. Sorry.
Bada boom.
No Enzo in the room.
Yeah, so I don't think any other titles changing hands on Sunday. So that's one reason why I thought the tag titles might change hands. I really, I recognize the potential that there could be a different woman winning on Sunday. If I had to pick one, Sasha Banks feels like a possibility to me, but I think that there's some sort of plan with Bliss. She's got two different directions she can go in. Besides Ronda Rousey, I think she's probably the long shot choice, but Jax feels natural and Asuka feels natural for Bliss. And that's what I have. I can't imagine Alexa not retaining the title in the Elimination Chamber on Sunday. Those directions for Alexa Bliss all make sense. I'm hung up on the promo she cut with Kurt Angle a couple weeks ago. Well, I wanted to mention that too, because if anything, that I think puts it in her favor, because
I feel like if she loses it, she can go to him and be like, "You screwed me out of it. You ruined it." And so I've been hung up on that. And that was for me one of the little glitches in my thinking, because I did also think that maybe she's just going to win it and that's going to be that. There are 6 women in this match. I think it's a 2-horse race, and that's it. There are 2 women that can win this match, and that's it. And it's Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. And I'm not 100% sure that Alexa's going to retain. So I said that I put Sasha Banks down. I think Sasha Banks is going to win.
Really?
And then Alexa Bliss is going to melt down and have this whole big thing with Kurt Angle maybe. And I don't know where it goes from there. Maybe Alexa and Sasha Banks. I've been of the mindset the entire time that Asuka's fighting Charlotte at WrestleMania. So I don't see Asuka staying on the Raw brand.
Interesting. Yeah, like I said, Sasha, I feel like she's the second best choice. I don't think it's crazy. If you want to do Asuka and Jax, you don't need a title to make that interesting. I think Bliss and Bliss and Asuka needs a title to be interesting.
Yes.
So you still have a plan for her post-Mania. But my interpretation of the promo with Angle was more, look how the odds are stacked against me in that typical wrestling kind of, how can I ever win this kind of way.
Sure.
So I think that's it's helping the keen eye, in my opinion. So I feel pretty good about about Alexa on Sunday.
I'm half confident. Like I said, it was a 50-50 for me, because it's not a 1 in 6. Those other 4 are there to fill the ring. Bayley's not getting it. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, sorry, Mickie James, you're not winning the Elimination Chamber.
And then we've got one more, right?
That's it. The men.
All right. And who's going first here? That's you.
You're going to go first.
Okay.
No, you went first, so it is me.
I don't mind though, because my answers I feel like is a little dull.
First one in the ring. Do you want to go through the order of who's coming in? Because that's what they.
Do we know the full order?
Not the full order. I know that The Miz is coming in first. Elias is coming in last. Then you have John Cena, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins now, and Roman Reigns. And 3 people are going to start. It's going to be a triple threat to start because they only have 4 pods.
I'll grab this one first. Like I said, my answer is a little bit dull. I've kind of been telling people where I'm at on this. I think that there's a lot that could happen here. You know, you hear a lot of potential Mania matches. You hear a lot about Roman Reigns turning heel. I think if Reigns has a heel turn over the next 2 months, we're not going to see him face Brock at Mania. But my overwhelming thought, and this has been going back to SummerSlam, if not earlier, I think even shortly after WrestleMania, I was saying this and I was sticking by it. The plan for Mania, I feel this so incredibly strongly, and a lot of people are disagreeing with me. I'm surprised how many people are, but I think they're going to stick with this. The plan for Mania is Roman Reigns slaying the Beast, who's had a year of being the Universal Champion, and I think that that's what's going to happen. I think Roman is going to slay the Beast come WrestleMania, and I've been saying that since the jump off, and I still think it's going to happen.
As for just a side note, for someone as dynamic as Brock Lesnar and as special as he is when he does show up, would you agree that this is one of the most boring title reigns?
Yeah, it's a real shame because the one that ended with the Seth Rollins cash in at, what was that, 31, 32?
Yeah.
That one was so good. And this one has not been a good year, in my opinion. That's a real shame, but I agree with you.
He has not been a good champion. He hasn't been present. He doesn't feel present when he's even on the show. Like it's time for him to go. And, for a little while as champion, and whoever he faces at Mania, even if it is Roman Reigns, I will be rooting for the other person to win.
I have been consistent with this prediction for a very long time. I'm not changing it now.
Okay, there it is. You picked Roman Reigns. I have not been consistent. I've gone back and forth. I thought maybe Cena for a while, but I'm feeling very confident that Cena and Undertaker will happen at Mania. I don't know how. I know who I want to see face Brock Lesnar at Mania and who will face Brock Lesnar at Mania.
Okay. Spill the beans.
I want Braun Strowman or The Miz to fight Brock Lesnar at Mania.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would love for it to be The Miz. I think that would be awesome. He would surprise people. He would impress so many. This should be the year of The Miz. I can't say it enough. Holy smokes. He's been doing some of the best work in the company for a couple of years now consistently. I'd love for him to get a shot at the championship. Won't happen. It's Roman Reigns.
By the way, it could still be the year of The Miz. Oh, you just gave your answer, didn't you? It's Roman Reigns.
It's Roman Reigns.
Okay. Well, that seems to be what's going on.
It's Roman Reigns. And can I tell you the minute I knew Roman Reigns was going to win the Elimination Chamber?
Sure.
The second the referee's hand hit 3 in the gauntlet match. When Roman Reigns lost first in that gauntlet match, I went, well, he just won the Elimination Chamber, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was it. And I was settled. It didn't matter that Cena came out next and was pinned. Didn't care. I knew right then Roman Reigns is going to win it. Set in stone. And so that's when my answer was solidified.
You want to know the moment I knew Roman Reigns was going to win Elimination Chamber?
Last year when Brock Lesnar won the Universal Championship at Mania.
Yeah. Or you could say the minute someone from SmackDown won the Royal Rumble. I mean, it was just pretty obvious to me.
Makes for a boring pay-per-view, don't you think?
Yeah, I wish I could say I was excited. I'm not. I can't imagine this being a great show on Sunday. Let's hope, though. Let's also keep it optimistic. WrestleMania's April, and then even the B shows thereafter have the potential to be a bit more exciting.
We'll see. All I know is our tiebreaker is rendered useless. We disagree on one match, and it's the women's chamber match, and that's it.
That's it. Well,
that's it. We disagree on one match, and I think that'll be the main event, and you don't. But I do. I think it'll be the main event.
Another cool thing. Well, technically, Jared, if someone else if none of the above win the Elimination Chamber for the women, we would need the tiebreaker. Like if Bayley wins, we'll need a tiebreaker.
Be serious.
Okay,
will you stop? Will you
I'm
stop?
just being realistic. There's a chance we will need the tiebreaker.
Be serious. Although I will say this. I will be obnoxious if after I predicted both Royal Rumble winners, I also predict both chamber winners.
Dude, I think you have a right to be proud. That was an amazing feat. What a way to start the year for you with predicting both Royal Rumbles. And I think it was a near perfect card for you in your predictions. They were insane.
It was close. This one, 5 matches. They're going to add something to this match, to this card, don't you think?
Yes, I don't think there'll be only 5 matches. There'll be at least one on the pre-show.
Sure.
And
that'll be the men's chamber.
So listen, here's what we got going on. We want to know your predictions. Obviously, you guys know what to do on the post show. Let us know what you think is going to happen on Sunday. We love to see those wild and crazy predictions. We've got our recap episode is going to be Monday, but we might be a little late on Monday. Is that right, Jer?
We're going to be late on Monday. I've got to go to a school in town that they're going to talk to astronauts on the International Space Station. And so I've got to be there. I don't know why.
Because radio.
Because radio. Because live. Because local. Because radio.
Dude, if that makes... I can give you a list of dozens of things I've done dumber than that.
No, I've got to be... Unfortunately... Oh, let's apologize to listener Tony, because when he watches this, because I think his daughter is one of the ones talking to the astronaut.
Well, I mean, that's exciting for Tony's daughter and stuff.
Yeah, but it's not exciting for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll shut up now.
One small step for man, one giant leap for radio. What am I going to do there? I just sit in a room with a bunch of ham radio nerds. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I hate when I'm surrounded by...
The people who think the radio DJs have the life. They have people walk around thinking they got it good. Their jobs must be so fun. We'll see you guys on Monday. We don't know when. After the Challenger launches, we'll see you guys.
We've got the life. To quote President Trump, wrong. You're wrong.
Fake news. We'll see you guys on Monday. Who knows when?